So Itron is in the metering business. Describe what you guys do in the metering business.
Well, we're the global leader in the energy and water space. We provide solutions around the globe for the energy infrastructure and the water infrastructure. We're a $2.2 billion company in revenue in 2010, and we've got about 10,000 employees. So we have presence throughout the world, and we're the leader, as I say, in water, gas, and electric metering.
Now, the first thing the first killer app was reading the meter and getting the data back to the power company. But now you actually have smart meters. Tell me about your smart meters.
Sure. Most people are familiar with the meter on the side of their house that's read possibly once a month. Somebody may even walk up and read that meter. But smart meters have two-way communication built into them, and they can measure energy on an hourly basis. They can actually measure energy that might come off a solar panel or even a plug-in vehicle at some point in the future. And that meter can communicate inside the home so that homeowners can have either in-home devices or even a smartphone so they can see how and when they're using their electricity, gas, and water.
The people paying for these, though, are the utility companies. What's in it for the utility companies? Why are these good for business?
Well, utility companies have to have a solution to get the bill for the customer. And this is the next generation of technology. So the more information you can provide to the customer and also to the utility, the more technology is there, and the better it helps with the future. So this is their cash register, and also a significant amount of knowledge that this brings to the utility.
What kind of penetration do you have in the U.S.? Because it seems like once you've sold to these utilities, unless you have boxes that fall apart, they don't need to be replaced for a while. What kind of market have you already penetrated?
Sure. Well, the products are designed to last for 15 to 20 years. During the existence of the company, we've sold over 35 million of these devices in North America and have about 40% total penetration for some kind of automation. Although we can refarm some of those units. But worldwide, there are 2.6 billion electric, gas, and water meters, and fewer than 9% of those have any kind of automation on them.
So in the emerging markets, kind of like with cell phones, you have, once people get power, they're actually getting these sophisticated boxes with them.
Yeah, in emerging markets, there's a significant number of opportunities that we've got throughout the world. We provide solutions in Indonesia, in South Africa, and also now, as I say, in Latin America, where we provide a lot of products for electrification. We provide prepayment and smart solutions. So our emerging markets grew 22% last year. So, this is a big piece of our future going forward for the next 5 years.
Right. You guys had about 30% overall revenue growth in the quarter that was most recently reported. About a $2 billion in sales company. What's going to help keep that pace of growth going? The emerging markets or more U.S. penetration? Europe?
Well, remember in Europe, there's a mandate to replace 200 million electric meters and 100 million gas meters. That's mandated by the Energy Service Directive. So that's one of the areas for growth. It's going to start in 2012. And having to replace those over a 9-year period is substantial. And then obviously the areas for growth, as I said earlier, are the emerging markets in Latin America and also in Asia.
So you guys are definitely on Team IBM here with the whole smart grid thing. Tell me about that. How do you fit in? Are you the preferred provider for something?
Sure. No, we're not. IBM works with a number of partners, as do we as well. But in implementing the smart grid, you need a number of different players that have a variety of competencies. There's an explosion of data that's coming in through all of these new smart devices. We help to store and organize that information, but companies like IBM help integrate that information into the overall business of our large utility customers.
Okay. And stock got a little bit cheaper recently. You guys notched down your guidance, about $4 a share, I think, in earnings this year, something like that. Is that subject for change?
No, I mean, obviously we're in a quiet period right now, but 2010 was a substantial growth year over 2009. As we move forward, we're looking into 2011 with about a $2.1 to $2.3 billion revenue stream, and as you said, between $4 and $4.40 a share. But we're really looking to the future. And if you start looking at 11, 12, and 13, that's our growth area. That's where we feel the opportunities are there, as Philip said earlier, with 2.6 billion opportunities in the world. We see the long term is a substantial amount of growth opportunity for us because we want to provide societal benefits in the water space because of leaky pipes, in the gas space because of safety issues, and obviously we want to provide solutions which are into the electric smart grid on a global scale. So the opportunities going forward are enormous.
How about some of these challenges, though? You've got municipal finances in a state of disarray in the U.S. in a lot of places, and sovereign debt in a lot of places in Europe is a little bit messy. Does that impact the ability of your customers to come up with the cash to buy?
Well, we've always faced these issues. There are times when municipalities have got tough access to cash. They do a bond issue, and one thing that we have is that we develop a business case for the utility, and the business case helps them save money. And it's not just something that's an additive as far as assets. There's a business case that saves money, and most of this is paid back in between 3 to 7 year payback. So we don't really see this as a huge problem. And you mentioned about some of the countries in Europe. Some of our customers have got very, very strong balance sheets, and by the mandates that are in for smart grids and smart grid deployments, they have to do this by a certain time. So they've got to get started.